Hello everyone, before we get started, don't forget to please subscribe, click on that notification bell, like, dislike, comment, share, let us know what you're thinking. You can also follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, today, on the Angel of Words podcast, we'll be talking videography, photography, audio with Mr. Eddie Merino, founder of EM Multimedia, on deck on the Angel of Words podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Angel of Words podcast. I am your host, Angel of Words, and today we are with photographer, videographer, owner, founder of EM Multimedia, Mr. Eddie Merino. Mr. Eddie Merino, thank you for joining us here today on the Angel of Words podcast, my brother. It's a pleasure to have you.
No, it is a pleasure to be here. I don't do podcasts often. I'm usually the guy behind the camera. I'm usually the guy that is recording it, editing. So to be in it is a little weird, but we're going to have fun.
Oh, man, you're a master of all trades. I should have put that in there, too. Sound man as well.
Yeah,
oh,
we in there.
You're like the hardest working man in show business, man. I'm going to call you Eddie Brown,
you know
man.
It feels that way, but you know what? My dad said if you don't work hard, you ain't going to make nothing of yourself, man.
No, that's
so you
a fact.
gotta work hard. You gotta work hard, man.
Man, your father was a wise man.
Yeah, still teaching me till this day, by the way.
Well, there you go. That's a blessing,
day.
man.
Yes,
you know, thank God for that, man.
Amen.
You know, we gotta appreciate our parents while they're still here with us.
Absolutely.
But Eddie, man, you gotta tell us about this EM Multimedia. You're like a one-man wrecking crew, man.
Yeah,
and if you were a wrestler, you'd be D-Generation X all by yourself. You know.
Listen, it's been a long process.
Yeah,
a long process. I'm 36 years old today.
Yeah.
My birthday was last week. Shout out.
All right.
Birthday was last week.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to the Libras out there.
Where I was about, I want to say like 13 years old, maybe a little bit younger than that, 12 years old, when I started dabbling in sound. And if you Spanish, so you already know we was in the churches back in the days, and mom and dad brought you to church no matter what. I don't care what you say you was going.
Yeah.
So when I was in church, I wanted to help. I wanted to do something, and I was always into the drums and musicians, but I wasn't nice enough.
Oh, okay.
So they wouldn't let me play.
Oh, so you know how to play? You just
yeah.
Oh,
by now I learned.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I tried to play the drums. They wouldn't let me. The old school guys, they were in charge. So I was like, what can I do? I was like, you know what? Let me mess with this little sound thing in the back. This little thing with all these buttons and the blue ones, the red ones. I wonder what they do. So I kept moving. The mixer. So back in the days, we had analog mixers.
Yeah.
For those of you that are watching that have no idea what that is.
Oh God! Thank God you don't know what that is.
Yeah. It was like but you felt like you were riding a spaceship.
Yeah.
And it was like 100 little buttons. It was the highs, the high mids, the mid lows, the lows, the pan, the effects 1 through 4, the auxiliary outs 1 through 4. There were so many little things. I didn't know what all that did. So I was like, you know what? Let me just. Oh, okay. I'm figuring out my frequencies. I'm EQing. And little by little, I started understanding how audio worked, how sound worked, how it travels from a microphone to a mixer to a speaker, how to record. And it got to the point where I was like, you know what? If I'm going to make my own music, if I want to be a musician, I'm just going to do it myself. So I opened up my studio at like the age of 17. And I was in my house, in my little room, probably almost the same size as this place. I made my closet into a booth. I told my dad, hey, can you put a little window here so I can look inside? Yeah. My dad cut it out, put the little plexiglass up.
Nice.
I did the carpet along the walls to acoustic treat it. And I started recording myself. So this project was for me. So I could play the keys, so I could play the drums. So I could just record something for myself because I want to be a musician. Somebody in the neighborhood found out that I had a studio.
Oh,
he just so happened to be,
travels fast, man.
He happened to be a rapper. And he's like, yo, can I record something real quick?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I don't really know what I'm doing, but yeah, come through. So I must have did maybe like 2 sessions or 3 sessions recording people and exporting and learning how to mix. And I started liking it. I was like, oh, I'm getting the hang of it. And then he brought another friend. And he comes in, and then he brings another friend. I'm like, oh, all right, relax.
Yeah, it ain't that type of
yeah,
party,
I don't,
gentlemen,
you know.
We're not gonna turn into the Wu-Tang Clan right here. You know?
So I'm like, wait a minute. If everybody wants to record and they like the studio, I'm gonna start charging.
Facts.
At that point, I wasn't charging. I was just doing it because I want to learn. So I was like, all right, how much is Rough Riders charging? Because, you know, Rough Riders was in Yonkers. That's where I'm from. It's down the block.
And you got confidence to that point where you're like, I want to start charging people. Or you were just faking the funk on the nasty dunk?
Listen, I'm going to charge what they charge and I'm going to try to do what they do. So, you know, you got to compare yourself to the best. You can't. I mean, the best, at least in my area, was Rough Riders. You wanted to get a good record recorded. You want to get it mixed. Rough Rider Studio was the place to go.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to compete with Rough Rider. I don't care about nobody else. I need to hit, you know, Rough Rider level. So if I do that, I need to charge Rough Rider rates. So Rough Rider was charging like $45 an hour. I was like, there's no way these guys are paying $45 an hour for this. I was like, I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm gonna do 20.
Yeah. I
did 20 for about a few months till I got really good. Understood compression after that. Understood EQ, limiting, reverb, editing, and I used Pro Tools, which at the time was like it. That was it.
Yeah, no, that was the cutting edge technology.
That was it.
Yeah, we're talking late 90s, right?
I'm talking about Pro
2000s.
Tools LE 3.1 or something like that, just back in the days. So I had a little M box, so I had it recording, and it got to the point where I was just word of mouth spread, and I was recording like 50 artists, 50 different artists in Yonkers. Would come to I had folders of all these artists and their sessions, and I'm like, you know what? They're coming here. They're not going to Rough Riders no more. I'm gonna up my rates, so I went up to 30. Everybody's complaining. Well, why you gotta go to 30? I was like, I'm a businessman. We gotta make money.
Facts.
Gotta make money. So I was still in high school at the time.
And this is in your mother's house?
This is in my family's house.
In the basement?
In the basement. In the basement. People would come in and out the basement. I'm
killing the game at the whole hood in the studio. Wow.
And when my dad told my mom, because my mom would be like, esa música bájale, you know, turn that music down when you're making so much noise.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, oh, relax. He's making money. Like, this is our son. He's like doing this entrepreneurial thing. And back in the days, that wasn't a thing. Your kid wouldn't do something like that, and you would like push them forward to be like, nah, don't play with that audio, the music stuff.
Yeah, go get
it's
a
not
job.
gonna work. You got to go to school. You got to go to college. Blah blah blah. So my mom was pretty much always against it, and my dad was like, nah, he's making money. Let him do his thing.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where I graduated. My studio had grown so much that I was recording literally every day sessions, recording sessions every single day. I was making $80 to $100 a day.
And you didn't find it mundane. You thought it was. You was having fun. It was something you were passionate about.
It was my love. Because I could be in my home. I could be making my music, mixing my things, making it something. My joy was seeing an artist come in with an idea, and me being able to put it together, and making their idea come to life in a form of audio art, and for them to return it only incentivized me to keep moving forward, because I achieved what they wanted me to achieve, and they would keep coming back, and they would bring more people, and things grew, and all of a sudden, YouTube, MySpace,
man, the greatest thing to ever happen, you know.
So the artist tells me, yo, I got a MySpace page, I got a YouTube page. You know anybody that could do photography and video? I go, yeah, me.
So throughout all that fray with the audio, you had the video and the photography on deck as well? You had those instruments?
I had no idea. I didn't have a camera. I didn't have anything. But I said, if I could do this audio thing, and I have 50, 60 clients that are coming to me weekly, I'm not going to send them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Let me go get a camera.
Yeah.
I got the budget. Let me go get a camera. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. People are paying you, man.
So my
overhead.
First music video, I charged like $300.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forget the rapper's name, but he was one of my clients. Like, he would come in weekly, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna charge him a lot. I don't know, 300. I don't know what do people charge. So the street was charging around $400 or $500 for a video back in this is 15 years ago, more than 18 years ago. And I was like, I could pull it off. Let me just say 300, 400. Let's see what happens. They said, yeah. I was like, all right, bet. What do I need? I started on YouTube. I started looking up some stuff. Back in the days, it wasn't get this camera, get this light. It was like you had to dig. You had to do tons of research, because there wasn't a ton of influencers and people.
Yeah, there was no tutorials.
No, there was no tutorials.
Like that,
There was no tutorials. YouTube was just like funny videos back in the days.
Yeah.
So after getting some lights, I mean, I had the most terrible light set, bro. I had some ugly halogen construction lights. I just turned them on, done. no focusing, no
You know,
nothing.
they use those though in
Yeah.
Hollywood to light the streets, when they need to.
I lit people's faces with that.
Oh my God, that's
So I
hot
had
as
people's
hell.
faces. I had a little camera, a little handy cam. It wasn't a DSLR. The Mark IV wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
Or the Mark II, sorry, the Canon Mark II wasn't out. That changed the game. So I had the little camera. I'm recording. I got to the point where now the artists are now hiring me to do the videos. I'm getting a little better. I'm charging a little more. I was like, look, if they're gonna do this and I'm gonna keep going, I need to get real gear.
Yeah.
And that's
And
when
what software were you using for these amateur videos to edit them?
So back in the days, you had Pro Tools for audio,
Yeah.
and Final Cut was the thing.
Facts. Yeah,
Final
it's the
Cut
beginning of
7,
Final
I
Cut.
think. Final
Yeah.
Cut 6, Final Cut 7 was when I jumped on it, and it was a linear software. It was like, you would drop it. It was very similar, and the learning curve for any audio guy that's watching, the learning curve to learn how to edit video is so quick. Like in 2 days, I learned how to edit video because it was so similar to editing audio. Cutting, moving the audio waves. It was just videos.
Yeah.
So it wasn't difficult.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at it, but it wasn't difficult.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let me try this. Let me just get this done. So because I had that large artist clientele already, I was able to capitalize on the clients I already had and opened up that video and that photography because they also wanted pictures. And that's when the game changed. They go, okay, we need pictures for MySpace page. The MySpace page was huge for musicians back then. You could do your playlist. You had your top 5 friends. You did all that. So it was huge. So what the artists would do, they would be like, okay, I'm getting my songs done here. My videos done here. I need my pictures done here. So I was a one-stop shop. So I'm doing the pictures. Now I need a photography camera because I only had a video camera. So I go, okay, I do some research. I go jump on this little Nikon $600 camera. I hated it. I didn't like it. I wasn't good at it. I said, man, I wish it was a camera that could do both, that I wouldn't have to worry about dealing with video and learn just one. And all of a sudden, Canon dropped the 5D Mark II, which was the camera that revolutionized video for low-budget videos forever. That camera is the reason why you see all of these DSLR cameras being able to record video.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a thing back then. You would get a photo camera for pictures, video camera for video.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't get one that did both.
Yeah, you didn't get any hybrids.
But the Mark II, the 5D Mark II, they did it for photojournalists who also wanted to take video, like documentation as well. It just ended up being really good.
Yeah.
And you throw a 50 millimeter lens on it, rack it down to like a 1.8. Oh, it looked like butter.
Oh man.
You didn't even need anything else. Forget lighting. You didn't even need like a little bit of light. You'd be fine.
And it was that's when it was started to become more affordable too. So it wasn't really crazy.
I think it dropped down to like $1,800 at the time, and I got it used. I wasn't gonna buy a new one. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And getting those recording artists to then pay a higher premium because I'm upping my quality was a little tough. Every time you raise prices on people that have been seeing you for a while, they don't like that.
They're like, no, what are you doing
They
that
don't like
for?
that.
Are you killing me, pa?
They're like,
Killing me,
well,
pa.
you just did a video 2 weeks ago for $200. Now it's $8.
Yeah,
Well, new camera, new camera. So I upped it to the new camera. I got the lenses, and now I'm really learning how to use it. Now I have to learn shutter speed, ISO, white balance, f-stop. What's an aperture? What kind of lens?
Candles, all that stuff.
Everything. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, now it's serious. I got to get in. I started working so hard on video and photography that I fell in love with creating video and stories, narrative stories through video that I don't want to say it, but I had to shut down my studio, my audio recording studio, because I didn't want to record anymore. I just wanted to film.
Oh my God! You left a lot of depressed people.
I
I guess they could transfer over and shoot the music video.
You know what?
Go record somewhere else.
They're mad till this day.
What?
20 years later, yo, E, can I record with you?
Yeah.
Yo, I know you still got the gear.
Yeah.
I still got it.
Yo.
I still got it. And I had one guy, shout out to James. James calls me up one day, and this is like maybe like 6 months ago, before the pandemic, and he goes, bro, I want to drop a mixtape. I know you don't record, but yo, I'm going to just drop whatever you want. And you record my album, you record the mixtape. How much you need? And he's a good friend of mine. I'm not gonna beat him over the head. I give him a number. He goes, absolutely, I'm there. But that's how hungry they were for the audio portion of it as well. but I opened up the studio just for him. Everybody else don't get no ideas. I'm not opening for nobody else. But
that's crazy. So you still have the studio?
I
Not
still
like
have
you
the
shut
studio.
it down.
No,
you just
no.
elaborated on
I literally have it in my shelves.
Yeah.
I take out my preamps, my microphones, whatever I need.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I mean, now it's not like you need a whole studio setup. You just need a nice space that has acoustics, good enough computer, and a microphone. I mean, we could talk about gear forever.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I mean, there's tons of gear out there.
I was gonna ask you about gear, but I don't know. We might just try to keep it simple today.
Listen, if we did that, the people would be like, fast forward. Unless there's gearheads out there. If there's gear nerds out there, they're gonna love it.
Man. There's people that love this kind of talk. But but that's amazing, man.
Yeah, and that's how I started my video part of it.
And no school, no none of that. This is all hands-on, training yourself, researching things yourself. This is from a
blank canvas, completely not knowing anything.
Yeah.
And just believing that my confidence and I just have this passion that's just gonna keep moving forward. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna learn it. If I feel I don't know. I don't have that. I know some people have this where they get discouraged when they don't know how to do something. I get encouraged when I don't know how to do something. Like when I don't understand something, I have to learn it. I have to get good at it. I have to get so good. I want to compete with everybody else. I'm very competitive when it comes to that. So
that makes sense, man, because you have to have that kind of mind in order to learn these. Because man, audio, photography, video, people think it's a joke because of the cell phone, social media era and the smartphones, but that's no joke, man. When it comes to the real technical aspect of it, to do top quality work, that's no joke.
Absolutely. And now phones are getting so good that they're taking really good pictures, very similar to DSLR. So technology is getting better. There's still something that the cell phone doesn't have that the DSLR has, and it is a professional photographer behind it.
And I was gonna ask you about that actually. The power of social media and its effects on photography, man.
Absolutely. So you definitely saw a big drop when the iPhone, I think it was the 9, the 8 or the 9 came out with that beautiful camera. I don't have iPhone, so I'm an Android. Shout out to Android.
No, but Androids have valid cameras too, man.
Android's a dope. Crazy. So I went with Android, but the iPhone dropped before the Android. The iPhone came out with an amazing camera. It tricked the depth of field, so it gave you that blurry background on portrait mode. Everybody went bananas, right? Everybody's taking pictures, everybody's using it, and they're not hiring photographers because they have an iPhone. And for that, I say, great. I'm not mad at it. The market's the market. You just got to evolve. Now, I'm not mad if someone says, hey, I'd rather you just use my phone. You weren't my client to begin with. You're happy with your phone. People that hire me or hire a photographer want an experience of a professional photographer that's going to take amazing pictures and is going to lead them and direct them in such a way that's going to flatter them the best, that they're going to look the best. They're going to have the best location. They're also going to have really nice editing. And it's going to be different than the person that had the iPhone picture. So not everyone's your client. And that's something that a lot of new people don't get. They want to get all the clients. They get competitive. They want to get hired by everyone. If someone says no, they want to drop their price or they want to change tactics. I would always recommend do not change your price. Do not drop tactic. Do not change tactic unless you want to, unless it's something for yourself. I would never do it for a client because you're changing yourself or your I want to say
your standard and your integrity.
Your integrity to maybe dummy down something so someone else could purchase. I've never seen you go into Lexus or Mercedes and say, I like it, but 80,000. Can you? And they're looking at you like, you know what?
Get out the
such
store.
a nice guy. No. They go, he's such a nice guy. Let's give it to him for 40.
Yeah, nah.
40,000. You could take it. No taxes too. You're like, what?
No, Eddie, you're right though. That's a great analogy, B. That's a great analogy.
Nobody does that.
Wow.
Nobody does that. I mean, you'll have your sales, but no one in real business, Fortune 500 company, they're not lowering their prices if someone complains or someone doesn't like their product. You know what they say? There's another company that does a similar product that is not as good, but you're welcome to go purchase that product. We have options. That's what we're in America. We have tons of companies, tons of options.
Yeah.
If you don't want to buy this microphone, if you don't want to buy a Shure, there's a Neumann. If you don't want to buy a Neumann, there's a Rode. If you don't want to buy a Rode, there's what's the cheap one? You got to give me a cheap one. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because no one's going to buy that microphone. But there's cheap microphones out there. I know one. I'm not going to say it. It starts with an A. Y'all can figure it out.
Yeah.
There's another one that's cheaper. And if you aren't so stuck on how good the quality is going to sound and you're just worried about price, then you're going to get that one.
Yeah.
But when you care about quality, when you care about the make, when you care about the durability, how long is it going to last, you'll pay for it. You'll pay for it.
Well, I mean, you have to pay for it because, you know, if you want to, you have to invest in, if you want to invest in yourself, you have to buy the things that are going to make you the most productive.
There you go.
And I always tell everyone
There
that,
you go.
You know, and obviously within your budget, because unfortunately not all of us have unlimited budgets, but if there's something that you want to do and you're saving up for it and you know that I can get this kind of quality where I can produce something that people are going to take notice of, you got to go after it,
Absolutely.
man. You can't cheat yourself.
And here's another good thing that I told an artist one day, and I work with a lot of recording artists, and this one artist goes, but I want to make like 5 music videos. Can you do me a bundle package for 5 music videos? And I go, okay, what kind of bundle are you looking at? He's like, well, I have like $5,000 for 5 videos. And I'm like, wait, but you're going to do, it wasn't that much. It was less. It was like maybe 2,000. It was like 2,000 because that would have made sense. It was 2,000 for 5 videos. So basically you want to pay what, $450 or whatever. Somebody do the math and put it in the comments. You want to pay this amount for each video, but you just want to do it because that's the budget you have, because you want this amount of videos. You want 5 of them. Why make 5 decent or mediocre videos when you can make 2 bomb videos? Why sacrifice the quality of your art, your production, just to get more quantity? I mean, when we talk about sales, when we talk about business, your quality, usually high quality products, they don't make a lot of quantity of those. They're very unique. The things that are the most expensive in the world is what we have less of. So when you think about that of your own art, or you think about that in your own business, or you think about that for whatever you want to produce, you have to keep that in the front of your mind. Am I producing quality or quantity? And what do I want people to view me as? That guy that can produce 20 okay of whatever, or the guy that does 2 or 3, and check this out. The 20 might have been worth $1, but your 2 or 3 might have been worth 20. So in reality, you made triple of what the first guy made by making less, but because it's better quality, you profited more. And that's how business works.
Eddie, I'll be honest with you though. I've heard a lot of experts, such as like, you know, Gary Vee, say that,
I heard that.
You know, sometimes in order to be consistent, because we live in an era, especially with social media and everybody forgetting something right away,
Absolutely.
that sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit of quality.
So now I'll dive into that, because I know I've met Gary a few times. He's a really nice guy.
Okay.
Really humble. Whatever you guys heard about him, that's him.
Nice.
That's really him.
Nice.
And having a conversation with him, or he had a conversation with somebody and I was filming it. And, you know, it's always about quantity. Post 5 times a day, post 6 times a day. For the average person that's doing something that they need to promote, that's absolutely true. Doesn't have to be the best quality, but what are they pushing? Let's say they're pushing this water bottle. This water bottle is the high quality.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the picture, the video that's high quality to show this bottle. It's the bottle that's the high quality. So some people do get confused with that and say, oh, he wants quantity. Make 1,000 water bottles. That's not what he said. He said, make your quality bottle. But when we talk about that, you market it with everything you have. So that sometimes does confuse people. And for photographers, it's the same. So when he says post 5 times a day, for a photographer, that's impossible. I don't know a photographer that posts 5 times a day, because our photography takes time to create. It takes a day or 2 just to edit a few pictures. So when you're talking to a photographer, say, hey, you got to post your pictures 2 or 3 times a day. That is my product though. So it's different. Yeah. But if you notice, he always says, Gary Vee always says, post your process, document your process, and then the outcome will come out. So the recommendation wouldn't be, let's say for a photographer, post all your pictures, as many pictures you can. Yeah. It's post your behind the scenes, post you talking about, you know, a picture, post some stories about you doing a photo shoot or what you think about a picture, not your actual picture. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know, you have to kind of break it down that way, because if not, you would kill yourself trying to, you know, produce high quality content 3 times a day.
Yeah, especially as a photographer, I could imagine. I mean, come on, man. You guys really have to go in there, touch it up.
You would probably have to work for 6 months in order to produce like a few months, maybe 2 or 3 months of quality pictures 2 or 3 times a day.
Now, you've been working freelance.
Yes.
It seems like your whole life.
Absolutely.
How has the coronavirus affected that, man?
Well, it did affect it. It did affect it with my current clients that were doing projects.
Okay.
So any big, and I can say it. Okay, so Canon camera came out with the R5, the Canon R5, and we were set to do promotions for the R5 because it was coming out. So I did maybe like 2 or 3 videos for it. We were supposed to film a lot more for another company called Adorama, who also is like B&H.
Okay.
They sell, video and photography gear. We're supposed to create more content for them. We're supposed to do, so all of these videos, let's say there was like 20 videos lined up for the next 2 months, completely zeroed out.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're just on hold. They're just starting now. Thank God. They're starting this month.
So they put everybody on.
Everybody was on hold.
Ice.
Everybody's on hold. You're just on hold. So if you didn't have a cushion as a freelancer, it was not good. It was not good for you because everybody was just holding. Everybody's just waiting. And if you shot in the streets, you get a fine because you're not supposed to be out. You're not at the time of the lockdown. Exactly, so even if you wanted to shoot, it wasn't really recommended, or, so for the creatives, it hurt because so what I did was I actually switched and I started working on my website. I started working on my retouching. I started creating more content on YouTube. So I switched it up. So instead of me just sitting at home like, wow, woe is me, what am I going to do? I got productive. I learned how to make websites.
Interesting.
I literally learned how to use WordPress in 3 months.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I mean, I use Squarespace for mine. I got to get to it.
Yeah.
Though,
now, Squarespace is great if you do one website. And I love Squarespace because it's so easy. You can just boom, boom, drag and drop. And you got to figure it out, but you get it.
Yeah.
But the problem with Squarespace and the problem with me is I have 4 websites. My photography, my video, my vlogging one, and my wedding one.
Yeah.
If I did Squarespace, I would have to pay that $15 for each of them. You can't bundle them in Squarespace.
No, you can't.
So I would pay something like 50 something a month, where if I got WordPress, I get the bundle that I could house as many websites as I want for way less than 50 a month. And I just had to learn it. Because if I didn't learn it, I was going to have to pay the 55, and I was just being cheap. I was like, I'm not paying no 55 for Squarespace. I'm gonna just learn. I got 3 months. 3 months to figure this out.
I'm home anyway. I got to take care of business.
Yeah, I was about to start a website development company. I was like, yo, who needs a website?
Wow, that's crazy.
If it did get bad, I was going to start developing websites because I learned how to do it already.
Yeah, but for whose business? If people
well, that's the thing. Everybody needs them now.
Yeah.
You need them now.
Yeah.
Restaurants are dying.
Yeah, man.
Restaurants are dying because
insane.
they didn't have a good website. They didn't have an ordering system.
It's a disaster.
It's terrible. Man. It's terrible. The restaurant business, I think, got hit the hardest.
They got hit the hardest.
And I know people that own restaurants. My cousin owns a restaurant, completely shut down. Like, the restaurants got hit the hardest. If you didn't have that cushion, you weren't going to survive. And it was hard. It was hard for them. It was really hard for them. And I think, I don't know the statistics, someone correct me in the comments. I think it's like 61% of restaurants will never open again in New York.
That's what they're saying.
Something
man.
like that,
it's
like 61,
dire.
I think.
It's a dire situation, man.
Done.
A lot of them weren't able to get those loans that the government was offering. It's it's bad, man.
It was terrible. It was a terrible time.
The leases in New York here are crazy.
Oh,
man.
yeah. And you know what? And there's properties still trying to charge the same price for storefronts where people aren't even really going out like that. And they're still trying to charge you the same price because you're in a certain area. That's crazy.
Yeah. And shout out to my people in the restaurant industry, man. I spent 20 years working in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
Since a kid, I was working in the restaurant industry, man. So, Eddie, man, what do you like more? Photography, videography? Like, what's the deal now with you, man? What are you for? Like, now that, things are going back kind of normal, have you been out to do any shoots?
I have. We started shooting this month.
Okay.
So this month, like real shooting, full cast, full assistance, lighting, sound, everything. We started this month because they're allowing it now.
Yeah.
And we all still have to wear the mask and do your sanitizer, try to stay away. But because we work often together, we're together often. It's not, you're not like, stay away, but, there's teams that I work with, and LINDSAY ADLER being, I think, one of my most loyal and favorite clients that I have.
By the way,
awesome.
who's a bomb portrait photographer,
Bro, shout
a
out to
bomb
Lindsay.
fashion photographer.
She's insane.
Yeah, guys, this man works with one of the top photographers in New York City.
Yes.
Everybody knows her, Miss Lindsay Adler.
Yeah.
Absolutely sensational work, man. You check her website out, you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is a whole another level.
Yes.
Like, what is it work? How is it working with her, man? It's because you're a professional, you've been in the game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you want to try to achieve the level of success that she has.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like and you have interactions with her. Like, is there anything that she's taught you that you've learned from her?
So with working with Lindsay and anyone who's ever worked with her, anyone who's ever assisted her will tell you she's the nicest and most sweetest, most loving person you'll ever meet. Awesome person. She's very thoughtful. She's very caring. She cares about everybody on set. She's very attentive to everything. So I definitely learned that from her, like paying attention to the people that are working for me. Like she takes care of everybody. Who wants food? Everybody's getting food. Boom, order your food. I got it. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And something that I noticed that she did, because as a successful photographer, there's two types of photographers. There's the photographer that's low key, that will do pictures, get the paycheck, go home, do pictures, get the paycheck, go home. That's nothing wrong with it. Lindsay took it to another level where she takes the picture and she teaches you how to take that picture, and she creates educational platforms for her to teach how to get the picture. So she's not just going home. She's going home and she's writing, blogs, and she's doing videos. So she's one of my biggest clients because I shoot with her at least 4 times a month, 5 times a month, big days, long projects. And she teaches everything from lighting, photography, how to use specific equipment, lighting modifiers. I mean, she's the master of lighting. She literally is the master of lighting. I don't know anybody that could teach lighting or handle lighting better than her. So if I learned lighting from anybody, it would be her. And it's almost like doing a disservice because I'm not even close to as good as her. Yeah. So if I did lighting, it's probably not going to come out as good because she just has an eye that's been trained since she was like 14. You know what I mean? So she's been doing this forever. And what I learned from her, I think, is also to become a resource for people. Not just take the picture, not just do your job, but become a resource for others and to help others and to make a difference in the community that you're working in. So she's very big on the educational platforms. We're talking about Creative Live. I know she used to teach for B&H. Now she's teaching for Adorama. She's a Canon ambassador of light, which means that Canon sponsors her, and all of the stuff that Canon is in, she's in. So if they're doing, there's so many photography conventions that have been canceled, by the way.
That's
terrible. It's been canceled.
Yeah.
But when they were going, Lindsay was speaking at all of them, huge speaking engagements, 10,000 people, 2,000 people, 4,000 people traveling all over the world. We were supposed to actually go to Italy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But for a fashion shoot over there?
Well, we were doing an educational thing over there with one of the photographers, but man, it just shut us down. So it definitely did affect us. But I think what I definitely learned through the pandemic was, if something gets taken away from you, or if you can't do something that is outside of your control, you need to evolve. You need to move around it. You can't complain about it. You can't stay stuck because there's always something you can do, to stay motivated. There's a lot of depression out there right now. I think depression right now is at an all-time high.
Rampant. It is running rampant, yeah.
And that's because some people don't have that motivation behind them to say, no, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to figure this out. What do you need? What can we do? And I think that attitude that she has, that even if the pandemic came and she lost whatever income, like, she's still moving forward. She's still making videos. So I'm like, I still got to move forward. I got to make my website. I got to make videos. So working with somebody that's outworks me even, and I work hard, but she outworks me, definitely keeps me motivated. So working with her has been a tremendous blessing in my career, for sure.
Now, when it comes to light, could you really explain to people how important it is, for people that are in the entertainment industry, that either are working behind the scenes with lighting, or either are a model or want to be an actor, and they want to showcase themselves? Could you really explain the importance of lighting? Because I mean, that was important even on the podcast, something I'm still trying to learn, and I appreciate you being here today. By the way, the lighting today on the Angel of Words podcast is brought to you by EM Multimedia.
Switch a little bit, just a little bit. I didn't want to be rude. I was like, can I move this one to the left? Can I move this one higher?
He did more than that, guys. He's being very humble here today on the podcast.
So when we talk about light is there's definitely a science behind it, and there's a lot of math involved. You'd be surprised. And if there are any gear nerds out there and they're into photography, they're into video, they're into the creative realm of shooting, I would say learning lighting, I think, is almost more important or as important as learning what your camera does. Because if you take a camera, you know what you're doing with the camera, but you have no idea what you're doing with the lighting, your image is not going to come out nearly as good as if someone that kind of knows how to deal with the camera or just puts it on auto, but knows what to do with lighting. Because lighting changes everything. The difference between a movie or a cinematic scene is lighting. Because you can go out there with your camera to the same place. You know, John Wick was here in New York.
Yeah.
I'll give somebody a camera, go shoot where John Wick shot, do your thing, have your boy walk through with John Wick, and then bring it back. Tell me how it looks.
It's going to look crazy.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's definitely not going to look the same.
Not
man.
even close.
Not even close,
and the funny thing is, the cameras, they could be the same camera. I give you the same camera. Matter of fact, I'll give you the same lights.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the other guy, they're taking good luck.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. If you don't know what you're doing with light, there's no way. I could give you all the gear. You can have everything. You have all the money, all the budget to do it. But if you don't understand the concept of how light works, how it falls off, how it affects, how big lights and little lights affect the scene, different colors, complementary colors, the color wheel, learning how the contrasting colors work together, analogous color, triadic colors, the primary colors, which we all know, the primaries, but there's so many more. There's so much more into that. So
it changes your mood. Light is important, man. It sets the mood.
Man, if you walked into my house, you'd be like, ooh, it's not. Because I got my LEDs, I got my cool lights, I got my warm light in the back. I have my own little setup. But yes, light is very, very, very important for anybody that is thinking of doing photography or videography. And I think as much as they spend time on figuring out how this camera works, they need to figure out how lighting works as well. It's so important. That's really the difference between me taking a picture and you taking a picture. Same camera, same lights. It's going to be how I position my lights, how much power, my ratios between lights, what modifiers I used, whether it's soft light, whether it's hard light, whether I put a gel, all of that matters. You know, just recently, I did this cool hack where I took my TV screen. I don't know if you saw the video on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I took a TV screen and I put a cool design on it and I used LED lights and I did like a photo shoot, but in front of my TV. So my TV's a 52. It took up the whole space and I was able to create some images that you would have thought you would have done like in Photoshop or digitally. Yeah. But I just used the graphic on my TV and I used it as my background. So knowing and understanding what you could do with light, because TV is a light. TV is a form of light. Yeah. You got to use it too. Use the TV. And I've seen wedding videographers bring like their little monitors or their computers. I seen them bring in their computers. They open up their computer and they put like a backdrop of whatever and they put the rings right here and take a picture. And now the rings look like they were in like a magical place. And they were just in the hotel room while the lights get...
They're in the hotel bathroom.
They're in the hotel bathroom. Absolutely right. Just because they know light. Just because they know how light works.
That's crazy, man. Talking about weddings, man. Like, you know, you mentioned your website, the wedding situation. You know, first of all, you're a big advocate of weddings. And, what made you get into that realm?
So, because I go to church, so I'm a church-going man. I grew up in church. I played musician. I was a full-blown musician. By the age of 18, I was already playing mostly every instrument. Finally, they let me. Yeah.
Right? Shout out to the churchgoers out there.
Shout out to the church musicians. They struggle, man. Yeah. Yo, you got to fight to get on them drums. I'm going to tell any drummer knows. You got to fight to get on those drums. So anyways.
That's the real battle of beats.
Yeah, for real. So once as I'm in church, we're doing weddings and we do the weddings in the church. And because I had my camera and I was doing my audio thing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take pictures of the brothers and sisters in the church. I'm going to just take their pictures. Yeah. I'm going to do it for free. I wasn't even charging. I did a few shoots and I was like, I kind of suck at this. It's not that good. But they didn't care because I wasn't charging and they're my friends, so it doesn't matter. But then I started understanding light a little bit. I started getting to know how to take environmental photography, which is very different than studio. Like some people could take pictures without a flash and be cool. But once you give them a flash, they don't know what they're doing.
And that's crazy, Eddie, man. You're multifaceted too, because there's different types of photography.
Absolutely.
There's ambient photography. There's like you
landscape,
said, landscape,
portrait,
portrait,
editorial. Everything is different. Everything has a different style, has different equipment too.
Mm-hmm.
So with weddings, I learned that you have to be a portrait photographer because you got to take pictures of the bride, the groom, the bridesmaids, everybody. You have to be an event photographer because at the event, there's usually no light. It's terrible in the reception hall. It looks nice to us when we're in there, but for a photographer, it's terrible.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Then you're talking about wedding. If it's outdoors, outdoor photography, battling the sun, battling the elements. A cloud goes up and changes everything.
Yeah, everything in the world.
Right?
Even though you like the clouds, you like that natural
I like
filter.
the cloud to stay there, but sometimes the sun be creeping through and hit the bride in the face.
Yeah.
So you got the sun, you got the outdoor, you got the beauty. You got to also do product photography. You got to get their shoes, the bouquet, the dress. The dress is so hard to shoot. I think the dress is the hardest to shoot for me, at least. I don't know how anybody.
So that's the most challenging aspect.
I think it's the
of
dress.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got to figure out where it goes, how to hang it. You don't want to drop it. You don't want to get it dirty. You don't want to rip anything. You want to make sure it's hung somewhere safe. You want to make sure that the background works. Does it have enough light? Are we looking at all the little beads? Can we see it? The belt or the shoes, like the dress is probably the hardest.
Like the most sacred thing in the world.
Yeah,
it's the holy grail. Don't
the bridesmaid follows me sometimes. She's like, "Where's that dress going?" I'm like, "Okay, you're a good bridesmaid. You're doing your job." And shout out to all the wedding photographers. They know what I'm talking about. When you do product photography, you got to get the rings. Put the rings there. You get a macro lens and you're taking pictures. You got to get a piece of wood. Like, it's so much. It's so much. You have to do so much for a wedding. So if anybody wanted a crash course in photography, and they had no idea where they kind of wanted to go, what they wanted to do, I would invite all of them to be a second or third or fourth shooter for a wedding photographer. Don't expect money. Go there expecting education.
Yeah.
Go there because it's so hard to do a wedding when you're first starting off. After a while, I've been doing it for 10 years.
And that's a valid point. You have to start somewhere. You
have to start somewhere.
So for the people coming up wanting to get in the game, you would recommend for them to go
absolutely
and basically trail somebody, find out the ins and outs of the situation.
Absolutely. People hit me now on my Instagram, my DM. People hit me, "Hey, when's your next shoot? Can I join you?" What do I say? Of course, because I want people to learn. I like that. I like to teach. And the cool thing is, and this is how I got a lot of my assistants or a lot of the people that I work with now, is, "Yo, I like what you're doing. Can I come through?" And I always say yes, because I had an instant. I'm not going to mention his name because people know who he is in New York. One of the big directors in New York. He was a local guy. He wasn't like a Hollywood guy. And I hit him on Facebook because he wasn't famous, but he was on Facebook. And I go, "Hey, what's up, man? I really like some of your work." He was doing like filming, and I wanted to learn how to do filming. He was already good at it. So I want to learn how to do it. Is it possible for me to shadow you one day? Blah, blah, blah. And his response was literally, "Go to the website and look up assisting something." And he wasn't like, "Hey, I get this question often." Like it was like, link, like, go there. Like, don't talk to me. Go to the site and apply to see if we even accept you.
Well, not everybody's amiable,
So when that happened to me, I was like, "Oh wow, okay."
Okay.
And I felt like, man, who's gonna teach me? Like, I really felt like I was on my own. I'm trying to get the top guys to help me. So now when they do that to me, I could never do that. I would be such a hypocrite if I was like, "Go to the website." So now, whoever hits me up, and don't start hitting me up, everybody. Just relax. Like,
they're gonna blow you up.
I know they're gonna blow me up, but I 99.9% of the people that say they want to shoot with me, they want to hang out, they want to learn, they're always welcome to come.
Yeah,
always. And whatever shoot I'm doing, you can shadow me, hang out, try not to get in the way of things.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, be courteous and just go there and learn. You know what
basic,
time it
basic,
is.
Basic.
I mean, and as a person that is teaching them and is a mentor, I would imagine that you can tell when people got it, when people don't.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You let them know, like, this is, if you're really serious about this, you got to move a certain way, because a certain level that even as an amateur, you have to move in order to reach that top tier professional level.
And it's really hard to find like a good assistant or a good second shooter or a good, let's say, partner in photography.
Yeah.
I've had maybe 4 solid ones in the last 15 years, but I've shot with like 100 and something different people. but because like the vibe didn't fit, or they talked over this, or they didn't. I know a guy's gonna be good, and you guys take this home. I know a guy's gonna be good when he does something, or lady, but I say guy because we call them the boys or the guys or whatever. Girls, whatever. So the girl or guy is gonna be good when they do something before you ask them. If they do that, like if you're setting up the tripod, right? You're setting up the tripod. The camera goes on top of the tripod, and they come up behind you and hand you the camera.
That's it. You're in love. You're in love with your.
You'll be here next
shooter.
week. You'll be here next. But the person that's sitting there watching me.
Yeah.
And then I have to be like, hey, can you hand me that camera? And then they give me the camera. And then I go, can you hand me an SD card? Can you hand me a battery? And I have to keep asking, can you charge it? Like I have to keep asking them to do it. And I know some people aren't like that. And maybe like they're just not naturally that way.
Yeah.
But the people that are naturally on the look, like, okay, he's about to move that light. Let me get this. Or he's moving that light. Let me get the cable. Like those are the people. And if you're ever going to like shadow somebody, you're ever going to work with somebody, you're ever going to mentor with somebody, I think that's one of the biggest things that people look for in assistants or second shooters is to do something before you're asked. I think that's so big. And it's mostly common sense. It's nothing like, don't give me like Dorito chips.
You want a certain level of assertiveness.
Yes,
like a courteous level of assertiveness.
Yeah. Like initiative. I think it's initiative.
Exactly.
You want the initiative.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what really helps other photographers to grow and learn as well, because guess what? When I'm not there, I can trust that person is going to do it because they already showed me they know the steps. They already showed me they know what they're doing. I remember doing a job, and it was facing the crowd back in the days at SOB's lounge. You know SOB's?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sounds a bit. They used to be lit back then.
Yeah, no, man. I've been there a bunch of times. Okay. Yeah.
So Facing the Crowd was a show. Me and Star Trek did it. And shout out to Star Trek if you're watching.
Co-producer of the Angel of Words podcast, everybody, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, that's the man. So me and Star Trek did it for a while, and it got to the point where I had another assistant too, but he was a little flaky. And then I had another guy come in, and when he took out the tripod, he put the thing in, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's it.
Yeah,
this guy's it. So there was a time for like 3 months that I didn't even go to SOBs because I could trust both of them to take care of it. Star and Mark. Shout out to my boy Mark.
Oh, Mark Bird.
Mark Bird.
Who's also been a part of the Angel of Words
really?
podcast. Yes, author Mark Bird.
Oh, come on now.
The Journey God Chose. If you haven't bought his book on Amazon, it's still available,
everybody. Yeah, show him mad love out here.
Yeah.
Mark is the man. So Mark and I met in church. We met in church. He came and visited the church, and he expressed a certain level of interest in media and audio. His thing was audio. I was like, yo, I do audio, I do video. So we clicked right away, and I took him to the SOB show. I took him to a few gigs, and he was on it. He was on top of everything, and him and Star. But I could leave them anywhere, and I'd be comfortable and confident. And I think that's the kind of person you want to aspire to be ahead. That's what I do with Lindsay. Same thing. Yeah. Before Lindsay says it, I better already have it. That's my mentality. And that's why I've been working with her for 6 or 7 years now.
Nice. That's great.
I think I have 6 years.
That's great.
Texted me, hey, Eddie, are you available? Yes, I am. Yeah. Okay, I'll be there. Look, you don't got to tell me anything. I just need little details. It's funny. Before, I used to get a long email. Mm-hmm. It used to be descriptive of everything we're doing, how many shots we're doing, this and that. Now, it's, can you be here this day? I'm doing talking head and some B-roll. And I can translate that into that long email and know exactly what she wants.
Oh, that's fantastic. That means, the level you're stepping up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I want to be that great assistant or that great shooter that they're hiring me to be. Just like anybody else who's aspiring as an artist, as a musician, or whatever. Always exceed expectation. Always go take the next step. And I don't say, hey, assume that they want this moved here. Don't move, don't go out of the lane, right? Don't go out your lane, but stay in the lane, but try to predict what you think, because that's only helping you grow. It's only giving the person more confidence, and you're going to get way more leeway.
Yeah, educated guesses, man.
Absolutely.
Just pay attention and make the right decisions, because you're there. You know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just a great thing to work under somebody that knows what they're doing. And I think that's what helped me a lot.
Now, Eddie, you ever thought about, shooting a movie or anything of that nature, man?
Man,
films. You know, have you worked on films and things
that
of
that has been right here in the back of the mind.
It's
and
on mine
there.
too, because that's really that's the end game for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
I want to win a best original screenplay. You know, that's my number one goal, and then eventually director. You know, but
so I have always heard start with short films. So I've done a ton of short films for other people, and I've done my own. I ended up winning the best director for a competition that I entered with my film.
Nice.
So I know I'm on the right track.
What was it about?
It was about sowing seed.
Sowing seed.
Sowing seed.
Wow.
I did it for one of the preachings that my dad had about sowing seeds, and it's how powerful your words can be, how your word could change the outcome of someone else's life, and you may not know, you may have no idea.
I always tell people, watch what you say to people, man. Words are absolutely important.
Absolutely, and that one word could be anything. Like, you don't know what it is. Like, it could be, I love you, man, or don't worry, you're gonna be all right. Something as simple as that could change the outcome of someone's entire day or week or existence. You never know. So we talked about that in the film, in the short film that I did. And we had a young man who was troubled, who needed money, who went to go, stick up a store. So, got the gun out, before he goes in, he's thinking about it. When he goes in, he does his deed. I don't want to blow it for anybody that's going to watch. I don't know if you link it down below or whatever.
No, we're going to link it down below. Okay. Well, you're going to give me all your, you're going to give the public everywhere to find you for everything you're doing,
So I don't want to blow it then. I don't want to blow it.
Right now, everyone, we're talking to Mr. Eddie Merino.
Yes, sir.
Of EM Multimedia, putting us on to all the things that he's doing. And like I said before, he's like James Brown, the hardest working man in show business. We work
hard.
Yeah.
You got to work hard. If you're going to make something of yourself, you got to work hard. So in the film, I let everybody watch it, check out the link, and come back. So spoiler alert, right? That's how they do it.
Spoiler alert.
Come back. So what happens is the clerk is telling him, "Don't do it, my man. Don't do it." He's like, "Give me the money." Gives him the money. He goes, "Don't do it. Just don't do it, please. Don't do it." He has his gun out. He goes, "Whatever, man." Turns around, clerk shoots him twice in the back. It didn't have to happen. He said, "Don't do it." He had a gun. The clerk had a gun. He's down on the floor. Tape rewinds. Goes back. As he's walking down the block again. Now, someone hands him a little pamphlet and says, "God bless you." With a little, little pamphlet. "Jesus loves you" kind of thing. And he literally looks at it, reads it for a little bit right in front of the store. Reads it, looks at it. Goes, "Man, maybe someone does love me. No, I'm not gonna do this," and walks away.
Love it, man.
Entire life changed.
That's the way life works, man. Word. From moment to moment, one bad decision could alter your whole life.
Absolutely, and that's scary.
I mean,
scary.
Don't get overwhelmed by it, but just try to make, we got to try to make the best decisions in life, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Try to you got to do things that are in the best interest of everyone, man. Not just yourself sometimes, man, because you could make that one dumb mistake and then everything is over, Eddie, man.
Yeah, man. Pride gets in the way, man. Pride gets in the way. And I shout out to everybody who gets a little prideful, man. You got to really be careful, because pride is is the cause of a lot of fights, shootings, stabbings, arguing between spouses. It's all pride. It's a lot of it stems from pride. You want to stand your ground because you think you're right, when all you can say is, "You know what, you got it."
Yeah.
And live life. You got it.
You catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar, man.
There you go.
Well, Mr. Merino, we have reached the point of the podcast where we're gonna play 5 words with Angel. Don't be scared, my guy. We're gonna be all good, man. You're with Angel.
So
with Angel, the words.
I have to say 5 words. Or you're gonna
No. On 5 words with Angel, I'm gonna give you a word, and you're gonna give me the first word or phrase that comes to your head. Are you ready to play?
Man. Go ahead.
5 words with Angel.
Cool.
All right. The first word is photography.
Oh man, good. There's so many. I'm gonna say creation.
Nice. I like that.
That's a lot.
The second word is video.
Cinematic. Yeah, so I'm more into the film than anything else. Cinematic.
No, I love film myself, man. We got to talk about that behind the scenes.
We do.
The third word is lighting.
beauty.
Nice.
Beauty.
The fourth word is audio. This is basically like a summary of the whole thing. You know?
Audio. Well, I'm like compression. No. People don't compress these days. I wish they would. But man, everything comes in with audio. Limiting, compressing, EQ, levels, gains, everything.
Running through the whole gamut.
With audio, I have a lot that come up to mind. But if I wanted to be more objective and people are listening, I would say audio would be I would say relaxing.
Good.
Relaxing.
I appreciate that. And since this is the curveball, since you are a man of faith, church.
Faith.
Nice.
Faith.
Nice.
Yeah. It's all about faith.
Well, Mr. Marino, now you have to give us the skinny on where to find you, what projects you're working on, because there's people out there that are everything's gonna start to move again.
Oh yeah, starting to move.
You do in-house photo shoots, right? You do official photo shoots where like you're gonna look like you're on the cover of Vogue.
Absolutely,
you can make those things happen.
Yes,
so let everyone out there know where they can get your services, what kind of services you're offering, and
Absolutely.
then we'll after that we'll get into one more thing.
So before I say that, I think that anyone watching and a lot of people that think about photo shoots think you have to be a model, you have to be pretty. And I'm here to tell you guys that you are beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone is beautiful. Everyone has beauty in them. And my job as the photographer is to capture that beauty and put it in an image so that you can cherish it for the rest of your life. So, whenever you think photo shoot, it's rarely is model, blah, 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 blah. I've shot in so many families, so many beautiful children, husband and wives, weddings, and none of them are models. But when they see the pictures that they have to cherish for the rest of their lives, the way they feel about those pictures just makes me so happy. You know what I mean? To be able to capture those moments for the rest of their lives, for their children's children to see. And that's something I don't know if you saw my YouTube channel, but I sometimes vlog. I do some stuff with my kids.
And I want to get into that as well because you do some cool things on there. But, actually you're talking about it right now. Yeah, your YouTube channel has tutorials. It has everything,
yeah,
man.
So I started off doing a vlog where I travel around the world. I go to mission trips with my churches. I do backpack drives to different countries. And I document everything. I try to document as much as I can because documentation, I think, is like our history book, like our documentation. You got to think about this. We're not going to be around forever. And our children's children may see this stuff. And they want to know how great-grandfather was, who he was, what kind of man he was, learn from him. And I think setting that good precedent for our generations to come is very important. I think being a parent is one of the most important things in my life. I have 2 baby girls. One's 1, one's 3.
Beautiful thing, man.
And just having a good relationship with them, but also producing content and showing myself to the world as who I am and what I do, to that way my children would continue to learn from and their children would learn from. And then documentation is just beautiful. Birthdays and all that stuff. So again, I tell you, anybody who's thinking about photo shoots or anything like that, you can hit me up. Eddie Merino photography.com is the photography website. But my Instagram is EM Multimedia Corp. And again, everyone deserves their picture taken. Everyone deserves their own photo shoot. Everyone deserves to feel beautiful because you are. Don't let anybody tell you different. And that's my job. My job is to worry about making you look beautiful. You just come as you are and I'll take care of the rest.
That's fantastic. Now you got the YouTube channel. Let's talk about that.
The YouTube channel is at youtube.com/ I want to say Eddie Merino. I think it's Eddie Merino, but we'll link it down below anyways, just in case.
No, definitely.
But that one's Eddie Merino. You'll see a lot of tutorials on how I do specific lighting, editing, retouching, also traveling, doing on-site photography as well. I will be producing more content. I've just been busy on making my website.
Well, yeah, dude, you can't do everything, my brother.
Everything.
I'm sorry. Like,
and you know what?
I know that you're highly competitive and driven, but man, there's only so much you can do.
Now that I think about it, if there's a videographer out there that wants to work with me, I will hire a videographer to work with me, and that way I could get some food off my table because it's a lot. It's a lot. Like you said, it's a lot to
and that's great that you feed people, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You help people get gigs and things of that nature.
100%.
Help them build their brands and their companies.
Listen,
you know,
and like Gary Vee said, you don't build the tallest building by breaking everybody else's down. You don't do that.
Nope.
You build your own, and you know what? If there's a building next door bigger than mine, then okay, he can.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, now we both own buildings.
Exactly,
you know?
we're neighbors.
You have a business associate. People got to look, and that's the thing. You either look at somebody as a rival all the time, or you look at them as a potential ally.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the 2 ways to look at people, in this world, it's the way you look at things, man.
Yeah. Man, just show nothing but love, people.
Yeah.
You're going to make it. Everybody's going to make it, man. Just have faith.
There's plenty of money out there for everybody. So
That's
we got
right.
the YouTube channel.
Right,
We got the
Instagram,
YouTube channel. Okay,
website.
we got, what's the Instagram where we can,
At EM
'cause you can
Multimedia
see,
Corp.
you can actually see things that he's done in studio.
You know
Some of
what?
your fast shoots on there.
Can you put it in the middle? I think you can put it right here in the middle, right, of the screen, and just go.
Oh, well, we'll see, man. We'll see what we'll see what we can do.
I hope
We'll
you
see
with
what
that
we
one.
do.
I hope you with
Yeah,
that
bet,
one. Look,
bet,
we're gonna
bet.
go like it's gonna be right here.
Yeah. Well, I don't have Premiere. I know you use Premiere. I'm using Final Cut.
I got you. I'll send you the PDF. You'll put it in. I got
bet. We lit. Sounds good. And then you have a Facebook like page.
I do. EM Multimedia.
Okay.
EM Multimedia Corp.
All right.
Yep.
So we can essentially find you on
EM Multimedia Corp.
Okay.
Yep.
EM Multimedia Corp. There you have it, everybody.
Yep.
That is the way that you find Eddie Merino. Now, could you please, before we end the podcast, just people that want to get into this field or people that are already in this field and they're feeling down and out, could you just give them some words of wisdom, man?
Absolutely.
For everyone out there.
Absolutely. I think what's been helping me out a lot, and people are going to get surprised, it's actually Google Maps. So I don't know if you know this, but if you have a Gmail account, you can actually register your address as your place of business. And a lot of people don't do this because it's their home. Trust me, it works. So I did it in my house, and I have a studio in my house. So obviously, if they come, we could do their photo there anyways. But some people don't do that. They only do outside. So I do by appointment only. Create your Google listing, your business Google listing. Start taking pictures. Have the people that take pictures post the pictures on as the business, and also write a review. What's going to happen is when you have about 20 or 25, the phone's going to start ringing. My phone rings once to twice every single day on somebody that looked me up on Google to do a photo shoot. And I give them the spiel. Oh, I do indoor photography, blah, blah, blah. I tell them, and if they're interested, they'll do it. If they're not, they're not. 1 out of maybe 10 lock in. So I maybe lock in 1 or 2 sessions a week off of Google, because I listed my business in Google. So when they search it, photographer in the Bronx, I'm gonna be up there. And because I have so many more reviews and more reviews coming, every shoot I do, I say, hey, look, if you like my service, if you appreciate the work, I'm gonna ask if you can write a review on the website, on the Google thing, and a little review, just whatever you think. You don't have to lie. Don't get crazy. Say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And 10 out of 10 times, it's a 5-star, and they love it, and they say really nice things, and that has helped me climb the ranks to now keep getting that rolling business coming in. It doesn't stop. I always get phone calls. I got phone calls throughout the pandemic. I did like 3 shoots throughout the pandemic because people were like, "Oh, I just want to shoot."
Because you shot maxed up and everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
put the
bet.
little mask on. I mean, they don't have to wear the mask. We're at a park.
Yeah.
We're not inside. We're outside, and you were allowed to go to the park. You were allowed to go out. I did like 3 or 4 photo shoots. So give me a few $100.
Yeah.
So if anybody is struggling with trying to start up your business or try to get that base going, I think Google business listing is the best way to do it. And I paid $0. It's free. It's free. You just need, don't tell nobody, but if you have like a cousin that you shot, family members, let them review your thing. I mean, honestly, don't lie.
I mean, it's still a review.
Yeah, it's still a
the
review.
people review. I mean, come on, man.
Get your family involved. Get them to review it. Get them to like it. Get them to share it. And
Get your friends to do it. Whoever.
There you go.
Yeah.
So once you do that, it brings you up in ranks. And if you weren't getting phone calls, and again, if you don't want your cell phone out there, I don't care. I use my phone as a business phone. I don't care.
Yeah.
Everybody has my phone number.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And how do you feel about that? Actually, it's interesting because I don't mind doing that as well. Yeah. Because I have a bigger picture in mind.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know, like I gotta reach a goal. I need people to contact me.
Exactly.
I need to make sure that anyone that wants to be on the podcast, that finds it interesting, that they would like to be interviewed by me.
Yeah.
I need them to be able to access me, and it's by giving them my regular phone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it to them.
I think there's gonna be a place and time, and it's not for me yet.
Yeah.
That I will get 50 phone calls a day. That then it will get a little distracting.
Yeah.
So I think until it gets distracting, it's okay. But
when you get to that point, you're gonna have an assistant. You're gonna have a whole
exactly.
whole situation.
By that time you get to 50,
Yeah.
the phone goes to somebody
exactly.
else. You keep that one. I have now that's my business.
Yeah.
You could leave it in the office, take it home, whatever, and I'll have my personal one for my friends and family. Of course. So you can do that. But I'm okay with putting my phone number everywhere. You get the robocalls anyways. I get them all the time. Hang up on those things. You know, as long as you're not saying yes to anything on the phone or on robo, your phone should be out. I think that's a good way to people contact you. Plus, they trust you. When your cell phone is there, when your website is there, when your Google listing is there, and your pictures are there,
instant credibility.
That's you. They're calling you. You're picking up the phone and you're saying, "Hey, how can I help you? This is Eddie Merino. How can I help you? I want to do a photo shoot." That's perfect. How's tomorrow sound? Tomorrow 5 p.m. Perfect. All right, see you then. Click. Hang up.
That's it.
Done. I meet them there, and I've never had a situation where they didn't show up. They usually 100% of the time, thank God, so far, all showed up, all paid in full. Never an issue. And I think if anybody's struggling during the pandemic using Google Business, I think is probably the easiest. It's free.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to get started and get known around your area, you know, wherever you live. And you'll start ranking up little by little. And if you do it and you watch this video, come back to the video, comment, let us know how it went. Let us know, hey, look, I listed it. 3 weeks later, I started getting phone calls. Please let us know.
Engage with us, baby. Engage with us on the Angels of Word podcast.
Absolutely.
Leave those comments in the inboxes over there.
Absolutely.
You know, Mr. Marino, it's been a pleasure to have you.
It's been a pleasure
for dropping the knowledge here on the Angel of Words podcast.
Man, it was a pleasure, guys.
And we have a lot to talk about off screen. But till then, folks, thank you for listening. This is Angel of Words. We'll be talking to you later.
Hey everyone, I really hope you leave your comments at the end of this video and you enjoyed my interview today with media expert Mr. Eddie Merino, who's the founder of EM Multimedia. He already let you guys know where to find them. If you want to find me, you know, you got to click on that notification bell on YouTube at Angel of Words ENT. You could also follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to know what I'm up to on my social media, follow me at Angel of Words ENT. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Talk to you later.